After the overwhelming success of Expedition 33, it was almost inevitable that many upcoming titles would start looking at Clair Obscure as a major source of inspiration. History in the video game industry has shown us this pattern many times before. Whenever a game becomes a massive hit and leaves a strong mark, other developers naturally try to capture some of that magic. Because of this, I think we're about to enter a phase where we'll be playing a lot of games that feel like direct or indirect children of Expedition 33. Titles that borrow its visual identity, its mechanics, and especially its overall mood and atmosphere. This situation reminds me a lot of what happened with Soulslike games. Every year, we see countless new Soulslike titles being released, and almost all of them try to slightly modify the Dark Souls formula without ever straying too far from it. Each game adds its own twist, but the foundation remains clearly recognizable. I believe something very similar is happening right now with Expedition 33. Today, I want to focus on a trailer that was released just yesterday, at the time I'm recording this video. The game is called Sword and Fairy 4, and it's actually a remake of a game that originally came out in 2007. So we're not talking about a completely new IP, but about a classic title that is being reintroduced to a modern audience with a new presentation and updated systems. From the very first seconds of the trailer, the inspiration from Clair Obscure is extremely clear. Even the structure of the trailer feels familiar. There's a sequence where the characters are running through different environments, clearly designed to showcase the world, the landscapes, and the overall atmosphere. This is followed by combat scenes, including what look like boss fights, all accompanied by very epic and emotional music that strongly recalls the tone and intensity of Expedition 33. Let's talk a bit about the story. The game follows Yun Tianhe, a young man who lives in complete isolation on a mountain, far away from the rest of the world. His quiet and secluded life is suddenly turned upside down when he meets Han Lengsha, a woman who is searching for an immortal. She is also somehow connected to the destruction of Tianhe's parents' tomb, an event that becomes the spark for the entire narrative. From that moment on, the story opens up into a much larger journey, where Tianhe and his companions travel across the world, fight powerful enemies, and search for answers about their past, their identities, and the fate of the immortals. The Sword and Fairy series has always been known for its unique setting. It blends Taoist mythology, martial arts, immortality, and strong spiritual themes, creating a world that feels both mystical and deeply rooted in Asian culture. I have to admit that I personally love Asian-inspired settings, and I truly believe that the video game industry is slowly regaining creative energy, especially thanks to the growing influence of the Eastern market. These games often bring different storytelling sensibilities and artistic styles that feel refreshing compared to more traditional Western productions. As the trailer continues, the similarities with Clair Obscure become even more evident, especially when it comes to gameplay. The combat system appears to be turn-based, but it also includes a parry mechanic that allows players to actively defend against enemy attacks, making battles feel more dynamic and engaging. This combination of strategic turn-based combat and real-time defensive mechanics is something that clearly echoes Expedition 33. The menu design also caught my attention. It feels like a fusion between Expedition 33 and Persona, combining clean layouts with strong stylistic choices. Personally, I really like this approach. I enjoy games like Expedition 33, and I absolutely love the atmosphere and vibes shown in Sword and Fairy 4. so I'm genuinely excited to see how it all comes together in the final product. Looking at the bigger picture, I truly believe we are about to witness a phenomenon similar to the Souls-like boom. Many studios will likely try to create their own version of Expedition 33, each with its own interpretation and identity. And honestly, I couldn't be happier about that. More games experimenting with this formula means more variety and more interesting experiences for players. The music featured in the trailer also sounds very strong and memorable, helping to elevate the emotional impact of the scenes. Overall, Sword and Fairy 4 looks like a game made with a relatively modest budget, but one that could still deliver a very meaningful and enjoyable experience. I don't expect it to reach the same heights as Expedition 33, but that's perfectly fine. Sometimes, a game doesn't need to surpass a masterpiece. It just needs to remind us why that masterpiece mattered in the first place. Let me know what you think. Do you believe we're about to see a real wave of games inspired by Expedition 33? I personally think the answer is yes. Share your thoughts in the comments, and thank you all for watching.